Welcome again. News now at this hour begins in the west of the continent, where the Nigeria Police Force has officially invited the 16th Emir of Kano, Emir Sanusi II, for questioning in relation to a clash that occurred during the recent Eid-el-Fitr procession in Kano. Reports say the invitation follows a deadly incident that occurred on Eid Day as the Emir's entourage moved from the Eid prayer ground to the palace in a traditional procession. The clash, which marred the otherwise peaceful celebration, led to the tragic loss of life of a vigilante member, Surajo Rabiu, and also left one other injured. Security agencies had earlier placed a restriction on durbar activities during the Salah period due to safety concerns. Despite the directive, Emir Sanusi reportedly led durbar processions and paid a visit to the Kano government house, attracting large crowds. However, the entourage was in cars as against the traditional horse ride. Now, our correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu joins us now for more update. Hello, Emmanuel. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon from Kano. Good afternoon. Thank you.
Good. So, can you tell us how Kano residents are responding to this development, as tragic as it may be?
Well, the situation is actually causing tension in Kano because the residents are not really happy. After successfully having a peaceful Salah celebrations, they believe that they coordinated themselves. In fact, good commentary coming in from the governor for, applauding the two emirs for coordinating their people in peace. And then all of a sudden, a police invitation is coming to cause another tension, which is really not good for the people of Kano. A lot of them are not happy about this development. They feel that the police should have done that in a very, very decent manner. The invitation should have happened within Kano and not the Federal Capital Territory, as the invitation is showing, which is actually showing some kind of, bringing a lot of mixed feelings. A lot of supporters of Mohammed Sanusi II believe that it's an attempt to withdraw, to remove him from the convoy Palace, and then replace him with Aminu Ado. That is what they are saying, because they believe that is a move by the federal government. They believe that is a move by the people who do not like Mohammed Sanusi II to become emir. So they believe it's an intentional attempt, or rather an indirect attempt, to remove him from office. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they are saying. Yeah.
Bagudu, was this an all-out flouting of the rules? Because before the Eid, it was told that there was a security concern, and this led to the ban on durbar activity. So was this really a durbar activity? Is it tantamount to a durbar activity? And do you think that this was him, the emir, flouting the rules that were put on ground?
Well, the emir, we are not going to pretend that there wasn't a durbar. We are not going to pretend about that, because on the day of the Salah celebrations, we saw the emir in a procession, a carried of horses, of course, camels going back, going to Kofra Wambai Palace, Kofra Wambai streets, from Kofra Wambai, from the Eid ground up to the Kofra Kudu Palace. We saw him with a lot of followers. That is a mini return. That was a mini carnival. We saw him again on the second day of Shawwal, in his vehicle, on a convoy, walking, driving at a snail speed. That is, and then going to pay homage to the governor. Now, that is an activity of Hawan Doshe, or rather Hawan Nasara, or rather Hawan Salah, but it's not done in horses. So we are not going to pretend and say that there was no, durbar. There was a mini durbar, so to speak. But of course, I think what this invitation by the police means is that Sanusi fulfilled the responsibility of an emir by going to pay homage to the governor, of which his rival, Aminu Ado cannot do. His rival, Aminu Ado, who has the backings of the federal government, he has the federal police, soldiers, DSS guiding him. He couldn't perform that particular function that Mohammed Sanusi II did, which is going on a procession, though in a car, not in a horse, to the government house. He was received by the governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, and other, government agencies. He performed that right, and I think the police are not finding it funny, because they believe that, of course, that incident, their instructions have been flaunted. That is why they have the right to give that kind of invitation. But we believe that Mohammed Sanusi, as cerebral as he is, he should be able to defend himself, because he conducted all his durbar activities, his mini durbar activities, in the most decent manner possible. So we are not going to pretend and say there wasn't durbar, and we're not going to also accuse him of, flaunting the police order. Yeah.
Well, indeed, he should be able to defend himself. He is a very intelligent man. However, what are the sentiments on the streets of Kano? What are the locals, the communities? What are they thinking regarding these happenings and the invitation from the Nigerian police?
Yes, they are accusing the Nigerian police of causing tension in the state. That's what they are saying. They are not mincing words about it. They are making it clear that the Salah celebration has ended and that there shouldn't be anything that has to do with Emir Tussle because we have ended the Salah celebration and the issue of police invitation is causing tension. That's what they are saying. That if they are going, you should expect that there's going to be a lot of reaction and counter reaction on Tuesday when Sanusi is going to be appearing at the Force Intelligence Headquarters here in Abuja. There's going to be a lot of reactions because we expect to see supporters following him for that invitation. And we expect to see supporters waiting for him at the Kofro Kudu Palace to welcome him back in the normal carnival-like celebration. So they believe that if it goes the other way around, as people are assuming, because a lot of people are insinuating, a lot of rumors going on, that invitations by police supposed to actually happen in Kano, because the people that actually gave that particular instruction that there shouldn't be durbar is the Kano State Police Command and not the IG. So they believe that there's something fishy, there's something sinister. This is their belief. That is unconfirmed. That is alleged. But we believe that everything is going to end well on Tuesday. By the time he comes back, and Kano is going to be calm, is going to remain calm, and then of course the peaceful serenity in Kano is going to gain its pride of place. Yeah, thank you.
Now, I hear you rounding up, but there's one very important question I have to ask before you go, and that's regarding the instance that led to the death of this vigilante member. Who exactly was it? What happened? Can you describe the instance to us?
Yes. Like I said, we have always reported that Muhammad Sanusi II is not being protected by the Nigerian police. He's being protected by vigilantes and hunters. We have made it clear on our report several times that when you go to the Kofar Kudu Palace, the only people you see there are vigilantes. You only see a policeman standing, or two or three policemen at most, sometimes at the gate, without even armed. So the people that you see, we've shared those videos several times, the people that you see protecting Muhammad Sanusi II are either hunters or vigilantes, or vigilante members. So probably there was a little, a kind of, breach of security. Probably there was a little misunderstanding that led to that clash. But the police the only Nigerian police are actually going to find out from the investigation after the arrest of that young man, going to find out what actually really happened. But the fact that Muhammad Sanusi II is being protected by vigilante and hunters, sent a lot of message as to this, how to resolve this Emir tussle, because we're trying to look at a situation where he's going to be given the same treatment that is being that his rival has been given, which is Ado Bayero, who is being backed by the Federal High Court, because he's also backed by a democratically elected, state government, and then of course a state high court. So the issue of being attacked during a return home, a carnival-like return home after the Eid prayer, could have been prevented. Prevented if there were, a huge number of security, forces. If there were a huge number of security personnel guarding him, just the way they are guarding his rival at the Gidan Nasarawa Palace. So it's something that is being investigated by the police. And then, of course, a lot of insinuations are also coming out from that was a setup to actually discredit, but that's going to be confirmed after the investigations. After Tuesday's invitation at the Force Intelligence, command in Abuja. So all those things are going to be cleared by Tuesday. Yeah, thank you.
Emmanuel Bagudu, let me let you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you very much for bringing us the details of this investigation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Moving on now, and still on security matters, President Bola Tinubu has vowed that those responsible for the deadly attacks in Plateau State will face severe punishments. He condemned the killings in Arui, Hoti, Tadai, Munguna, and also Darfur communities, where gunmen launched brutal assaults, leaving many dead and homes destroyed. The president extended his condolences to the families of the victims and assured Governor Caleb Mutfwang of his full support in restoring peace. Tinubu urged affected communities to cooperate with security agencies and share information to help apprehend the attackers. In the meantime, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has condemned the recent wave of violent attacks in Munguna, Josho, and Darfur communities in Bokos local government area of Plateau State, where many homes were razed to ashes and lives lost. In a press statement, Governor Mutfwang urged victims of the attack to exercise restraint and avoid reprisals. News Central's Chizabanyanwe gives us an update from Jos, Plateau State.
Though the figures are yet to be confirmed by the state's authorities, many lives were reportedly lost in the recent attack in Bokos local government area of Plateau State. While condoling with families of the victims, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang called for restraint. In a statement by the Commissioner for Information, Joyce Ramnap, the governor assured citizens that his administration will get to the root of these calamities. Residents are, however, worried that if not checked, these renewed attacks may throw Plateau back into a state of insecurity.
To our minds, it's an economic warfare. We're being denied our homes, we're being denied our lands, and we're not able, our people and loved ones are not able to cultivate their livelihoods. So it's an attack on our very existence.
It's sad that we've lost lives. It's sad that we've lost properties. And it is equally sad that we were almost celebrating stability on the plateau because for over a reasonable number of months, there hasn't been any issue of this magnitude. And so for this to surface at this very particular point in time is quite sad for us.
I wish to condole with the government and people of Plateau State over this unfortunate security breach caused by insurgents and terrorists. And we want to also commend the security forces for ensuring that it did not expand beyond the level we're in.
Being aware of how bad things can get in terms of insecurity in the state, the way forward is a major concern for many citizens.
We have various success stories of our security agencies. We also want to use this opportunity to call on the communities to take advantage of community policing, to strengthen the vigilantes around, and also to ensure that the community-police relationship is improved.
It shouldn't just be condemnation or, promises about bringing lasting peace. Right? At this point, the people of Bokos deserve justice, they deserve closure, and they deserve an end to this senseless violence.
This is also a wake-up call to every community. People must be alert. People must sit up and take charge of securing their properties and take charge of securing their land in collaboration with security agencies.
In spite of the assurances from the state government that it will restore sanity and security of both lives and property in the state, the question on the lips of many is, how much longer will the people of Plateau State have to wait before the state reclaims its gold glory as the home of peace and tourism? In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyoi.
Let's take a short break. When we get back, Edo Governor vows to prioritize roads, water and development in SR land. Details of this and more after the break. Join us then. Welcome back. Now, away from the previous story, as part of activities marking the 2025 National Police Day celebration, the Nigerian Police Force on Saturday organized a fitness walk in Abuja. The walk brought together senior officers, rank-and-file personnel, police families and members of the public, all in a show of unity and commitment to community safety. The event, led by the president of the Police Officers' Wives Association, Elizabeth Egbetokun, is one of several others lined up for the week-long celebration. Participants marched in solidarity, chanting peace slogans and advocating stronger ties between officers and the communities they serve.
To support them, to make sure that the event is successful. That's what we're here to.
So how do you see today's exercise?
Exercise is very important. Even though POWA, we've been having series of exercises. Yes. Is that not so POWA? Yeah. So this one is just it's a child's play compared to what we do.
Yes. So what message do you have for Nigerians on this day?
The message I have for Nigerians is that we should be security conscious, and it's not all about the police. Police is your friend. You have to give information to the police to be able to exercise their duties.
Let's now bring you some political stories. 2023 presidential candidates from from major political parties are intensifying their calls for urgent electoral reform ahead of the 2027 elections. The People's Democratic Party's Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's Peter Obi, and Peter Amer, the National Secretary of the Coalition of United Political Parties, have all voiced strong support for comprehensive changes to the country's electoral system. They argue that such reforms are vital to ensuring the integrity of future elections and are critical to the success of ongoing national coalition regulations, or rather negotiations. As the 2027 elections draw nearer, opposition leaders are rallying together, pressing for the amendment of existing electoral laws. Atiku Abubakar, through his media aide Paul Ibe, emphasized that reforms are necessary to uphold the credibility of the electoral process. Meanwhile, Peter Obi, represented by Tanko Yunusa, national coordinator of the Obedient Movement, also underscored the need for reforms aimed at improving the election process. The governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, has been nominated as the flag bearer of his party, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, for the November 8, 2025 governorship election in the state. The incumbent, who was returned unopposed, polled over 300 votes during the primary, which held in Oka on Saturday. Voting was conducted for the delegates from all the 21 local government areas in the state to either tick yes or no on the ballot. After the voting exercise, votes were sorted and counted. Announcing the result of the exercise, the chairman of the electoral panel, Uche Nwegbo, said that the total number of delegates for the primary was 3,260. In the meantime, George Mahulu has emerged the gubernatorial candidate of the Labour Party in Anambra State. He polled a total of 575 votes to defeat John Wosu, who scored 19 votes. A total of 601 delegates were accredited out of 649 elected for the wards, with 597 votes were cast and 5 declared invalid. Chairman of the primary committee, Itana Bene, says he has faith in the ability of the party to win the gubernatorial election. The winner of the primary, George Magulu, also expressed joy at the way the exercise ended and urged the party to work together for their common success at the poll.
From Inewi North Local Government Area, having satisfied the requirements of the law, the Labour Party Constitution, and primary election guidelines, is hereby, I repeat, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected as the party's candidate, flag bearer, for the November 8, 2025 governorship election.
We have said in and out of our rooms that we want to bring change. And that change starts from tomorrow morning. We must go to work. We must set our agenda. We must reach all the nooks and crannies of this state to let the people know why we decide to take this position. To sell the party to them so that they can join us in our desire to create a new narrative, in our desire to change the story of this state. Because Anambra is a blessed state. Anambra has all what it takes to be the #1 state in this country. We are not lacking in human and material capacity. What we need to do as a people, as a government, is to create the enabling environment for our people to thrive.
In a related development, a governorship aspirant of the All Progressives Congress in Anambra State, Valentine Ozigbo, has expressed concern about the delay process in the ongoing APC primary governorship election in the state. In his exclusive interview with News Central correspondent Austin Azu, Ozigbo lamented the delay while expressing his optimism about securing victory in a poll. In the meantime, 1,630 delegates are expected to cast their ballots for the 3 aspirants contesting the APC governorship primary in the state prior to the November 8, 2025 governorship election.
Well, we're here for the primary of APC for the 2025 governorship election, and at the very major center for the accreditation, where two major zones, the Anambra Central and Anambra South, are doing the accreditation. This is where we are. And if you look at the time, it's about a few minutes to 6 p.m. This is a process that ought to have started before 10 a.m. and it's already 6 p.m. almost.
Now, Edo State Governor Monday Okpewolo has vowed to lead a major infrastructural transformation in the Edo Central Senatorial District, with a particular focus on Esa land. Governor Okpewolo made the commitments during a special reception held in his honor in Ewato local government in the Esa Southeast local government area on Saturday. The event came in the wake of his recent victory at the Election Petition Tribunal and was organized by philanthropist Lemon Ikwe. In a statement issued on Sunday by his chief press secretary, Fred Itwa, Governor Okpewolo expressed his gratitude to the people of Edo for their continued support and reaffirmed his dedication to delivering meaningful development. He emphasized that his administration's priorities would include the construction of motorable roads, providing clean water, and reducing travel time throughout the state. The governor also took time to visit the ongoing medical center project in Idumuyase, Ewato, a facility generously donated by Dr. Ikpea, where he toured the site. Now, despite the state of emergency in Rivers State, economic activities continue to thrive at night. News Central's crew explored a major hotspot in the capital, Port Harcourt, to bring you this report.
It's been days since the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State by the president, and we've gone around the state.
We've been to schools, we've been to the mall, and nothing has really changed.
So we decided to come out at night to see if activities have actually changed or is changing at night. And we are here at
Abacha Road. Well, this is the hub of nightlife in Port Harcourt. And we're here to see if anything has changed.
Abacha Road, one of the busiest thoroughfares in Port Harcourt, is a bustling hub of commercial activity. Hotels, supermarkets, bars, and restaurants line the street, catering to the needs of the local population and visitors alike. James, the manager at a prominent supermarket on Abacha Road, shared his perspective on the impact of the state of emergency on his business operations.
Customers are coming, my market is my market is booming, you understand? So nothing affects, understand? Nothing affects.
However, John, a local barbecue vendor, acknowledged a slight decline in customer traffic due to the arrival of the sole administrator and the state of emergency.
Many people know bring out money. They all think ahead of what's going to happen.
Ladies, how are you doing?
Similarly, night workers, bar owners, and electric goods sellers echoed the sentiment that economic activities continue to thrive, although with some fluctuations.
They are becoming, but not as before, like that.
Everywhere is scanty. People want to respect themselves by being at home.
Let's say that the sales of drinks and the sales of food, will I say it dropped? That's the first day that the order was made on the stage. The first day we didn't have enough sales, everywhere was quiet. So after that day, the business boosted back.
And they see customers, yes.
Do they still pay like they used to before?
Maybe not.
While the state of emergency has undoubtedly brought about changes, there are concerns that inaccurate narratives are being circulated about the situation in Rivers State.
My family is in overseas. They are calling me, are you safe? Are you safe? I said, I don't know about you. I don't hear anything, no shooting or anything. We're just doing our thing. No problem here. So you Nigerians in overseas, here is safe. Port Harcourt is safe as usual. The nightlife, just the way it was before the election and after the election, everybody's happy, everybody's moving well. Don't mind those media, political media antagonists trying to blackmail Rivers State.
One notable challenge faced by the community is the increased presence and occasional harassment from security operatives.
There were enough of military personnel here yesterday, like 3 vans or 4, more than that were just here.
The police became more emboldened. They've been coming out here almost every time to stop most of the people that hang around here. You understand what I mean? So that has actually reduced night activities in GRA.
As the night falls, the Bacha Road remains a hive of activity, a vibrant symbol of the resilience and determination of the people of Rivers State.
Government will have to do something, as in maybe shorten the state of emergency so as to revive the live activities in Port Harcourt.
Despite the challenges posed by the state of emergency, economic activities continue to thrive and residents remain optimistic about the future of their beloved state.
Now let's also tell you that a tragic accident involving a 40-foot container truck has claimed 1 life and injured 5 others along the Sele Expressway in Ward Oshodi, Lagos. The Lagos State Traffic Management Authority confirmed that the truck, which suffered brake failure while speeding, lost control and dislodged its container onto 5 commercial buses and 2 private vehicles, killing a pedestrian. We're being told that 1 bus driver sustained multiple fractures. LASAM bus has evacuated the injured to Isolo General Hospital. LASMA, alongside LASEMA, FRSC, and the police, has led a swift rescue operation and restored traffic flow. LASMA's GM, Olalekan Bakareoki, extends his condolence and urged truck operators to conduct regular brake checks. A full investigation has begun, with officials emphasizing strict adherence to traffic rules to prevent future tragedies. Now, still talking road disasters, no less than 6 people lost their lives, while several others sustained severe injuries in another fatal accident involving an 18-seater commercial bus along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Saturday. The crash caused a major gridlock, leaving commuters stranded for hours as emergency responders worked to clear the wreckage and rescue victims. Meanwhile, rescue operations salvaged the situation, while emergency teams struggled to save those trapped and managed the aftermath of the tragic incident. The Minister of Works, Senator David Umahi, has carried out an inspection tour of ongoing repair works on the key bridges in Lagos. During his visit, the minister assessed rehabilitation efforts on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, Eko Bridge, and Carter Bridge, 3 of the city's most critical transportation links. The repair works, which are focused primarily on underwater components, include the pile caps, and other parts of the substructure that are essential for the stability and safety of the bridges. Senator Umahi expressed satisfaction with the progress made so far. The minister expressed concerns on the state of the 3rd Mainland Bridge and Carter Bridge.
We have inspected the 3rd Mainland Bridge, what is happening below the deck, awarded to Julius Berger, the Carter Bridge too, and we are satisfied with the work they are doing. I can say that the work on 3rd Mainland Bridge is about 50% completed, and that of Carter Bridge is about 70% completed. But something to worry about is a repair work like what is going on in the 3rd Mainland Bridge and Carter Bridge. They have to, repair the pie caps and the cover to pie caps that have deteriorated, they have rusted, the rusts are exposed, and some of the piers, what you call columns, the rusts are also exposed, and they are a very big problem, so we are going to arrest that very, very quickly. And part of the problems of 3rd Mainland Bridge and Carter Bridge on the pie caps, is that the salt water has found itself about 10 cm into the pie cap concrete, which means that it is just a question of time, it will start to attack the reinforcement.
Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, and the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria have asked the newly appointed Group Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Bayo Ojulari, to resist the temptation of filling top management positions with external recruitments. The 2 unions, while congratulating the new GCEO and the newly constituted board members, said staff members should be promoted from within. They noted that any plan to fill top management positions with external recruitment should be stopped immediately. President Bola Tinubu had on Wednesday appointed Oju Lari to replace Madakiari as DCEO, while Amadu Musa Kida was named NNPC's non-executive chairman, replacing Pius Akiyelure. Now, as temperatures soar in Katsina, many residents are facing a troubling issue. Their mobile phones are freezing or shutting down from the extreme heat. It's a situation that many residents are beginning to face, leading them to wonder how to keep their beloved devices functional under such extreme conditions. News Central's Rukaya Jibia completes the report.
With temperatures regularly hitting above 40 degrees Celsius, the heat in Katsina, Nigeria's northwestern region, presents a unique challenge for mobile phone users. As people go about their daily lives, their phones often struggle to keep up with the rising temperatures.
We have issues ranging from probably, say, overworking, and also issues with regards to heat. So because of high ambient, temperature, you get to have this slow kind of operation. Functionalities doesn't work perfectly as expected because of that heat.
Reports of devices freezing or turning off unexpectedly have become increasingly common. Experts say that smartphones have built-in protective measures. When the internal temperature exceeds a certain threshold, they can slow down or shut off completely to prevent damage.
Waya akwai wadda zaki so ita ba za ta taba yin zafi ba, kin gane? Akwai kuma wadda zaki so ita kuma da zahin ya dan temperature ta dan juya ko ya kake amfani da ita to kawai za ta sa maka wacce za ta rubuta maka temperature high ta tsaya tak, wata kuma ba za ta rubuta temperature high din ba, sai dai kawai kiga tana hukin tana tsayawa da kanta. Kuma ita ba za duk zahin da za a yi ita za ta iya daukar wannan temperature ba ta isa ma'ala ba. Ita ce America, kin gane? Suwoyin America gaskiya sun yi su qualitative one. Kowane irin zahi ba zai sa wayan ya yi zahi ba, yawwa ba zai yi ba gaskiya.
Wayoyi suna yin freezing ne a lokacin zafi saboda mu nan yanayin weather ɗinmu ba irin kowane weather bane. Mu nan muna da rana mai zafi, sannan kuma yawancin wayoyin wasu na barin su a brightness, wasu kuma suna barin su a data. To duk wannan abubuwan suna consuming charge kuma suke sa waya ta yi zafi.
This can be incredibly frustrating for users who rely on their phones for communication and important tasks.
Idan na buɗe data ne take yin wannan zafin, to idan ta yi zafin zan yi haƙuri ne kawai in kashe data in yi haƙuri da amfanin da nake yi da ita.
Many residents have developed strategies to cope with this issue.
Amma din mai amfani da Samsung iPhone, to in Allah ya so da inda yari a cikin system din zai rika fuskantar wannan matsala. Kuma kowane irin series na Samsung nake baki labari ko wani iPhone zai fuskanci wannan matsalolin. Sabanin Infinix ko Tecno wanda su suna yin zafin ba su yi ba, amma bai kai nau'in can ba. To ni dai kamar ni yanzu nake amfani da Android, idan sun yi wannan zafin, idan ba gida nake ba inda babu ruwa, kankara ko wani ba wanda zai sanya ta ba, to kawai sai in sanya in kashe data in aje wayan in ci gaba da hidimata. Minti 10 Allah so yayi da tunda wai ba matsala gare ta ba, yanayi ne sa ta wannan temperature din za ta sauka.
Idan ruwan yana da sanyi sosai, irin sosai sanyin ba irin normal sanyi moderate ba, within 5 minutes 3 minutes ma tana iya sauka daga wannan zafin da ta yi.
Mobile phones are vital tools for communication and information, but they are not immune to the effects of extreme temperatures. The community is learning to adapt to the challenges of the heat, including mobile phones experiencing issues, causing shortened battery life, touchscreen problems, and shutdowns, among others. In Katsina, for News Central, Rukaya Jibia.
Now, let's go on a break, but coming up, Côte d'Ivoire politics. PDCI announces date for presidential candidate election amid growing political tensions in Côte d'Ivoire. We'll tell you this and more when we return. Join us then. Welcome back. The president of Côte d'Ivoire's main opposition party, the Democratic Party of Ivory Coast, Tijani Thiam, was notably absent from a key party meeting on Saturday, citing major reasons for his non-attendance. Philippe Kaupli Boni, the honorary chairman of the PDCI, confirmed that the party will hold a convention on April 16th to elect its candidate for the upcoming presidential elections in October. The decision was made during the PDCI's political bureau meeting, which took place in Yamoussoukro on Saturday. Thiam, who is strongly supported by the party, remains the leading contender for the nomination. The upcoming convention is expected to finalize the party's candidate ahead of the presidential race.
Militant. J'ai le regret, le grand regret de vous informer que le président Thiam ne pourra pas être parmi nous. Parmi nous, pour des raisons de cas majeurs qui le retiennent en Europe.
Il est proposé une convention en 2 phases. La convention nationale élective éclatée dans 45 localités nationales et 5 pour la diaspora. L'organisation de la cérémonie d'investiture du candidat élu à la convention nationale à la place Jean-Paul II de Yamoussoukro. Date, le 16 avril 2025 pour les conventions locales. La date de la cérémonie d'investiture sera fixée ultérieurement.
Le président n'étant pas là, certaines personnes se diraient que le bureau politique n'aurait pas lieu, mais ça se tient bel et bien. Et c'est un sentiment de militante engagée. Et nous pensons et nous croyons qu'au sortir de ce bureau politique-là, vraiment, il y aura de vraies décisions et puis qu'on sera tous engagés pour une élection à la magistrature suprême du président en 2025.
Si coûte, il va venir. Donc, nous, on attend le résultat de cette réunion.
Officials and witnesses have confirmed that Burundi has shut down the Rugumbo Stadium transit site, which has hosted over 45,000 refugees fleeing violence in eastern DR Congo. The stadium near the DRC border has been overwhelmed by the influx caused by the Rwanda-backed M23 group's offensive. The UN estimated that about 70,000 Congolese refugees have entered Burundi since January, its largest refugee surge in decades. Meanwhile, authorities, with support from UNHCR, have relocated many refugees to the more distant Rutana camp. Some evacuees have resisted, citing fears of mistreatment, while others have opted to return to the DRC. Thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of Barcelona, demanding action over the rising cost of housing in Spain. Demonstrators are calling for more affordable housing options as the country faces a growing crisis. According to data from property platforms Idealista, Spain is currently building only 90,000 new housing units each year, while 120,000 new households are being formed. This discrepancy has led to a significant housing shortage, driving rents to skyrocket and placing added pressure on families and individuals seeking affordable accommodation. The protest reflects widespread frustration as citizens urge the government to take immediate steps to address the issue and provide more housing solutions to meet the demand.
Els governs no han fet res, però nosaltres no hem parat, ni ens aturarem ara. Hem picat centenars de portes, hem fet brigades massives, s'estan organitzant desenes de blocs, comunitats en lluita arreu del país que no marxaran quan se'ls acabi el contracte. Si els governs no fan els contractes indefinits, els fem nosaltres.
Sí, a mí en mi caso creo que esto me afecta muchísimo. O sea, yo pago la mitad de mi sueldo por un alquiler, ¿no? Y creo que que eso es algo que la juventud estamos viviendo mucho hoy en día. Cada vez es más difícil moverte solo, cada vez tenés que proyectarte mucho el poder compartir un alquiler con alguien, porque si no es imposible. Y hoy en día una habitación te sale más de 500 euros, ¿no?
Bueno, nosotros tenemos varias soluciones. Una de ellas es que se ponga tope al precio de los alquileres, por ejemplo, que se controlen, sobre todo en Barcelona, los pisos turísticos, porque esto está haciendo mucho daño. Claro, a quien no le interesa alquilar un piso de 200 euros cada día en lugar de un alquiler de 1.000, 1.200 al mes.
Creo que para poder garantizar el derecho a la vivienda, el Estado pues tiene que hacer vivienda pública. Bueno, estamos años luz de lo que es el resto de Europa. En España en vivienda pública se ha dejado de hacer hace mucho tiempo y en esta y todos los fondos buitres que han venido, pues en esta nos vemos.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, injected $197.71 million into the FX market on April 4 to boost liquidity and ensure market stability. Now, this move, announced by Financial Markets Director Omolara Duke, aligns with CBN's commitment to transparency and orderly market functioning. The intervention comes amid global economic shifts, including new U.S. tariffs and a 12% drop in crude oil prices, now at 65.5 per barrel. With Nigeria's economy highly dependent on oil, the CBN aims to cushion the naira against volatility and maintain confidence in the FX market, especially among investors and importers. Nigeria's cubic debt surged to a record 144.6 trillion naira at the end of 2024, up from 97.3 trillion naira the previous year. The Debt Management Office reported this on Friday. However, dollar-denominated debt fell to $94.2 billion from $108.2 billion, reflecting exchange rate effects and reduced FX exposure. Analysts at Renaissance Capital Africa notes the rise reflects Nigeria's reliance on borrowings to fund growth amid revenue shortfalls. The data also showed a 1.65% increase quarter-on-quarter from 142.3 trillion naira, underscoring sustained fiscal pressure. A deal to spin off TikTok's U.S. assets has stalled after China signaled disapproval following President Trump's recent tariff announcements. Sources indicate the deal, largely finalized by Wednesday, would have created a new U.S.-based company, majority-owned and also operated by American investors, with ByteDance holding a minority stake. While the deal had U.S. government and investors' approval, China's stance has put it on hold. ByteDance acknowledged ongoing talks with the U.S. government, but stated that significant differences remain on key issues, despite Trump extending the deadline for the sale. Sports now. Rivers Hoopers began their 2025 Basketball Africa League campaign with a dominant 81-60 win over Stade Malien, bouncing back from an early deficit to seal an emphatic victory. Join Favor Itwa for more details in this update. Unfortunately, I'm being told that package will be made available in subsequent bulletin. But Akwa Ibom's Turobasi cruised into the women's singles finals at the Dakar Skills Acquisition Center after a dominant straight-set win over Edo's Lorele Hulsendorf. Bassi needed less than 30 minutes to book her place in the gold medal match. She'll face her double partner, Favor James, who also impressed with a straight-set victory over River State's Timiprie Maxwell. The much-anticipated All-Akwa Ibom final is scheduled for Sunday. With both athletes already securing medals, the final will determine who takes home gold in the women's singles events. Nigerian clubs struggled on day 3 of the 2025 African Women's Volleyball Club Championship, both falling to North African opponents. Nigeria Customs were outclassed by Tunisia's Carthage in straight sets, while Chief of Naval Staff Spikers lost 3-0 to Egypt's Zamalek. Elsewhere, Kenya Prisons claimed their first win with a dominant 3-0 sweep over Spikers and Spiking Stars. Kenya Pipeline beat Lito Team Volleyball 3-1 after briefly losing the third set. Cameroon's Mayo Kani Evolution defeated Rwanda's APR 3-1 in a thrilling 4-set march. And that's all this hour. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories we brought your way. Police have invited the Emir of Kano, Sanusi II, to Abuja over Salah Durbar violence. And prominent opposition leaders in Nigeria demand electoral reforms. We also told you that Burundi has shut down Mugumbo Stadium refugee shelter. Remember, you may send your eyewitness reports to the WhatsApp number on your screens now. And do follow us on social media. We're at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and of course on YouTube. Many thanks for watching. My name is Mazino.